Guys, how's it going? In this video, I want to describe how to solve algebraic equations using addition and subtraction. In another video, I'll describe how to solve algebraic equations that include multiplication and division. So I've written down a very simple problem. 3 plus x equals 5. And we need to solve this. Now, I say we need to solve an algebraic equation. What you have to do is you have to solve for the unknown. And in algebra, we represent unknowns by a variable. In this case, x. X is the value that we do not know. And we can name it anything. We can name it y, a, b, c, any letter in the alphabet. But we generally name it x. And that's what we're going to solve for. So we're asking ourselves, what number, when added to 3, gives you 5? Now intuitively, you can just think through this in your head, and you can see that the answer is going to be 2. 3 plus 2 equals 5. The problem's so simple that you can just think through it and come up with the answer without really doing any algebraic manipulation. But in algebra, not all problems are going to be so simple. So we need to define a method by which we can solve this. And we can solve it for any equation. And what you want to do in algebra, it's always going to be the opposite of what you're using. For right here, we're using addition. So we need to use the opposite of addition. And the opposite of addition is subtraction. And what I want to do is I want to isolate the x. In algebra, that's always going to be your goal. Your goal is always going to be to isolate the x. To isolate this x, I have to get rid of this 3. To ensure that this x is all by itself, this 3, we need to get rid of it. And the way we do that is we subtract the 3 from this side. So it's going to be 3 plus x, and now we need to get rid of the 3 by subtracting 3. And of course, 3 minus 3 is 0. 3 minus 3 is 0. So the 3's are gone. We got rid of the 3. And all we're left with is x on this side. But a fundamental principle of algebra is that what you do to one side of the equation, you must also do to the other side of the equation. We must keep the balance. And if I subtract a 3 from this side of the equation, I also have to subtract a 3 from the other side of the equation. So that's going to be 5 minus 3. So x is going to equal 2. That's your answer. Now, of course, this problem is so simple that you could intuitively think through it without using any algebraic manipulations. But do keep in mind that in algebra, very often the case, the problem's not going to be that simple. And you're not going to be able to just look at the problem and be able to determine the answer. Let's see if I can, really quick, give a more complex example. Let's say I have 5 plus x plus 3 plus x equals, let's say 12. Now again, in algebra, what we're always trying to do is we're trying to solve for the unknown. And in this case, the unknown is the x. So I'm trying to solve for the x. What value, when I put in for x, makes both sides of these equations equal? Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to add like terms. There's 2 x's. 1x plus 1x is 2x. So it's going to be 5 plus 2x plus 3 is 12. Now again, what we want to do is we want to isolate the x. So what we're going to do is, again, we're going to add 5 to 3. So it's going to be 8 plus 2x equals 12. I just added 5 and 3, 8 plus 2x. Still, the x is not alone. We need to get rid of this 8. Now, like I said in the previous problem, to get rid of this 8, we're going to go ahead and subtract 8 from both sides. When I subtract 8 from this side, that 8 is going to be gone. 8 minus 8 is 0. Leaving me with only 2x equals, now I'm going to subtract 8 from this side. What's 12 minus 8? 12 minus 8, of course, is 4. Now we have a number, when multiplied by 2, a number that we don't know, when multiplied by 2, gives us 4. So, again, this is such an easy problem. We can think through this in our head. 2 times what number equals 4? And of course, that's going to be x equals 2. It's going to be the answer. So, when I take this x equals 2, I'll plug it into my original equation. I have 5 plus 2, 7, plus 3, 10, plus 2, 12. So when I plug in 2 to my x, 12 equals 12. Both sides of the equation equal. And that's the solution to the algebraic equation. And this is going to be going into my next video, because right here we see we're using multiplication. Now this problem is so simple we didn't have to do any manipulation to solve it. But in my next video I'm going to give some more complex examples that are going to use multiplication and division. And we're going to have to isolate the x by taking the opposite of multiplication and division. And that's going to be in my next video.